cult of Hasan Abi. Yeah, I'll listen to the DA on CNN.
Going to fire a projectile and kill someone without.
Here.
Director was injured. Josh Campbell's back with us from Santa Fe. He's with Santa Fe's district attorney, and this is her first.
Oh, XQC said the actor should check. Okay, that's why so many motherfuckers kept repeating, like, the actor should check the gun. That's insane. That's just objectively false. No.
TV interview since the charging decision. Josh?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, thanks. I'm here with the district attorney. Madam District Attorney, thank you for speaking with us. I just want to start. How did you come to this prosecutive decision?
Well, along with my special prosecutor, we got the report from the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office. We initiated an extensive review of that, and I will say that it was a well investigated case. But we had some follow up that we had to speak with some experts, and once we read through everything and researched the case law and the law here in New Mexico, we realized that we believed that there was probable cause to charge Alec Baldwin and Hannah Gutierrez-Reed with involuntary manslaughter.
And what were some of the key pieces of evidence that you used that factored into that decision?
Yes, it is a bit sad when you realize that you're fucking debating mentally stunted juicers for the past fucking hour for no reason. When XQC himself is infinitely more agreeable, and if I were to have this conversation with him directly, I'm sure his mind would change, but his juicers are fucking arguing in a completely non-agreeable capacity.
Well, that there was such a lack of safety and safety standards on that set, that there were live rounds on set. They were mixed in with regular dummy rounds. Nobody was checking those, or at least they weren't checking them consistently. And then they somehow got loaded into a gun, handed off to Alec Baldwin. He didn't check it. He didn't do any of the things that he was supposed to do to make sure that he was safe or that anyone around him was safe. And then he pointed the gun at Helena Hutchins and he pulled the trigger.
You talk about the safety on the set. As part of your investigation, was there one thing that was done or one thing that was said that sealed it for you, that this should be prosecuted?
No, actually, I think it was the totality of the circumstances, that this was a really fast and loose set, and that nobody was doing their job. There were 3 people that if they had done their job that day, this tragedy wouldn't have happened. And that's David Halls, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, and Alec Baldwin.
What do you mean, Alec Baldwin? Bro, what the fuck are they? Yo, I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy. It's just, what do you mean? What is he's not, his job isn't to fucking figure out whether the gun has a bullet in it or not. What the fuck? Once again, fuck Alec Baldwin, but like, how the fuck is that the expectation? That's crazy to me. I don't know. That's wild.
If they had just done their basic duties, we wouldn't be standing here.
Can you help our viewers understand? So the state officials did a report. It was signed by the chief medical investigator saying that there was no compelling evidence that this was
not even on some XC dick rider shit, but both parties should have checked to ensure the weapon was safe and didn't have live rounds in the gun. It's literally the first weapon safety rule. They drill you in the military, treat every weapon as if it were loaded. I'm going to literally get a military gun and fucking kiss myself with it if I have 17-month subscribers who are failing to demonstrate basic competency here. Just please, I don't know what happened to you at basic training. I don't know what's going on. Please understand, you as a dumbass actor, okay, handling the gun would be a violation of safety protocols. Please understand, okay? I know this motherfucker was in the Marine Corps. There is no way this is a healthy diet of crayons that you consumed. Your responsibility as an actor is not to check the weapon, because if you check the weapon yourself, okay, the revolver, what are you supposed to do? Take the gun out? Take the bullets out? What are you talking about? At that point, it's over. You can't use that gun. You can't use that gun. You need to immediately drop the fucking gun and have the proper professional look at it, okay? That's crazy. What if you fucking, like, there are so many components in this story that would make it so dangerous if an actor was routinely checking the gun before using it on set. He didn't do anything that he wasn't supposed to do with the gun, as far as I can tell. If you're saying he pulled the trigger, again, he thinks that there's dummies in there. If you cock the gun back, or if you cock the hammer, okay, on the revolver, you now have a hair trigger, okay? He's supposed to cock it back for the fucking scene. He's shooting the scene. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. If he on accident touches if he on accident touches the trigger, at that point it is on, in my opinion, the AD and also the prop master, or rather the person who, you know, put bullets in the fucking gun. Now, we're talking about Alec Baldwin's responsibility as someone who has control over the filming. If we're talking about his secondary responsibility, I don't know how much control he has over the process. I don't know how much he was like fucking pushing people personally. I don't know how much he can do as a producer. I don't know what his exact production credits are, okay? But understand that as a producer, if he is a genuine producer on the set who's like pushing people, creating an unsafe work environment, cutting corners, then yes, as a producer in charge of the project, he could be legally liable for creating the unsafe work conditions. Okay, not just as a funder. People are saying he funded it. That doesn't matter. If that was the case, you know how many people fucking fund a movie? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, shut up. You know how many people are producers on a fucking movie? Shut the fuck up. The DA didn't mention all 11 other fucking producers, I assume, on a movie, okay? Only Alec Baldwin's name was mentioned that isn't the AD or the person responsible for putting the bullets in the gun. I need to understand what the DA does.
It was intentional, right?
Right.
So help our viewers understand, if it's an accident, which most people seem to think it is, why is that a crime?
Because just because it's an accident doesn't mean...
Yeah, if it was a non-celebrity actor, if it wasn't fucking dickhead Alec Baldwin, people would be defending the actor as a worker put in an unsafe situation. 100%.
that it's not criminal. Our involuntary manslaughter statute covers unintentional killings, unintentional homicides. The rest of our homicide statutes cover intentional, but unintentional means they didn't mean to do it. They didn't have the intent to kill. But it happened anyway, and it happened because of more than mere negligence, because of they didn't exercise due caution or circumspection, and that's what happened here.
And what's your response to, there might be people in Baldwin's camp who say that you were overcharging this?
Well, we disagree, and we're going to be taking that in front of a judge and allowing the judge to decide on probable cause. But we think that there is enough there, more than enough there, to move forward on these charges and possibly to get through the preliminary hearing stage and on to trial.
And can you just break down the specific charges? So I was reading through your announcement. You say that...
Yeah, look. Alec Baldwin is a producer. I didn't hear Casey Brandenstein's name be mentioned. I didn't hear Matt Del Piano, Tyler Gould, Matthew Helderman, Matthew Hutchins, Nathan Klinger, Angel Negum, Gabrielle Pickle, Ryan Donnell Smith. Where are the fucking names of any of these other people? Why are they not charged? Why the fuck is Alec Baldwin the only person charged? That's so funny that her last name, or his last name is Pickle, but that's unrelated.
That both Hannah Gutierrez-Reed and Alec Baldwin have been charged with 2 counts
Right.
of involuntary
manslaughter. Oh, they added him as EP after
that?
the incident. Okay.
Well, and those are 2 counts in the alternative. So
Matthew
when this
Hutchins.
goes in front of a jury, the jury could find they're guilty on both, but since they're in the alternative, they will only be sentenced as to 1 count. The first part of the involuntary that we'll be charging is that they acted with without due caution and circumspection, meaning they weren't just negligent in their duties, but that they were on notice, that they had duties, and that they should have done or not done something that didn't happen on that set, meaning they should have checked the bullets. They should have checked the gun. They shouldn't have even been using a live gun that day. They should have been using a rubber or a plastic gun. All of these things go together and show that there was just this complacency.
No, that's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. What the fuck? No, that's fucking bullshit. What the fuck is she saying? On what level do you shoot a close-up? Why are there dummies then? Dummy? Why are there even dummy bullets then? Because it's supposed to look realistic. It's a close-up shot. That's so stupid, dude. Fuck this DA. Yo, suck my dick, dude. Get the fuck out of here. You said you're supposed to use a plastic or a rubber gun? What the fuck are you talking about? It's literally a close-up shot. Why the fuck do they have dummy bullets then as a concept? Even if they're setting up the shot, even if they are setting up the shot, even if they're setting up the shot, ultimately, the person that is responsible for this is 100% the person who gave Alec Baldwin the gun and said it was a cold gun. I don't know why there were live rounds on set.
Lack of care on that set, and it's more than negligence, and I would say it rises to recklessness. The other is...
Anyway, I'm not even, for the record, I'm not even saying like, I'm not even saying Alec Baldwin is not liable in this situation. He's just, I don't think he's liable as an actor, okay? That's my point. I hope everybody understands. If we're talking about Alec Baldwin as simply an actor involved in this, he is not liable. That's insane. That's insane, dude. Like, any moment that the expectation is on the actor to know what the fuck he's handling is a moment that you don't even need you don't need any safety protocols. Fuck it, YOLO. All actors should just be trained with guns. And not just guns, by the way, because, you know, every fucking jarhead in the chat chimed in on this issue. Not just guns, but trained in prop guns. Maybe even pyrotechnics. Fuck it, dude. We should just make the actors also line up the shots themselves. Fuck it, YOLO. Do you agree all producers are liable for the unsafe set then? Not all producers, depending on what level of involvement, because I already just mentioned, Alabama Tanky, that producer is a very vague term for Hollywood, especially executive producers, okay? Producers could be responsible for handling one part of the process, a bunch of different components, or nothing at all, and they're just simply getting a producer credit. Now, that's usually executive producers that get the EP credit without doing anything because they're financing the movie. But ultimately, like, even a producer could get absolutely nothing. A producer, an executive producer, will have no responsibility whatsoever on the set. Alabama Tanky, I'm being wildly mentally ill about this. What? That is such a dumb take. Come on, man. We want better safety on sets. No. Oh my God. I wanna kiss myself with a dummy gun, okay? Dude, you are so stupid. Shut the fuck up. Please, shut your mouth. Just stop. He still had safety duties he didn't do. You do not know what you are talking about. You're just literally thinking about it from your own personal perspective. If you have the expectation that, like, every actor needs to fucking check a gun, I don't know what to tell you. you're just delusional. You're wrong. That's why there are people that are supposed to check it for the actor. Please stop. Oh my God.
Goes hand in hand with a misdemeanor, a petty misdemeanor here in New Mexico called negligent use of a deadly weapon. And that is that someone handled or used or touched a gun in a negligent manner. And once we show that, then that can lead to the second alternative theory of involuntary manslaughter.
Does it matter for an actor? Obviously, there's been this discussion about safety on sets. The last time I interviewed you, you even mentioned you were surprised to learn that these sets operate like this in some circumstances. But if you have an actor with what he or she thinks is a prop gun, not a real gun, is that actual negligence if it turns out that gun can actually shoot?
It's more than that. Every person that handles a gun has a duty to make sure that if they are going to handle that gun, point it at someone and
Yeah, this is dumb as fuck. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up.
pull the trigger, that it is not going to fire a projectile.
That's so stupid. That's so unacceptably stupid. That's so dumb. Oh my God, this is the dumbest fucking take. Yo, this has to be for PR. There's no fucking shot. This has to be for PR. Oh, people saying she's right. Just fucking, I'm done. I can't talk about this any further. Okay. Everyone agrees that guns are insanely dangerous, okay? In this community, at least. I love shooting guns, I'm telling you. That is delusional for this specific instance. The burden of responsibility being set on the actor in that instance is fucking insane because from the perspective of the actor, he's not shooting a real gun. He's shooting what is already been cleared by safety protocols, a fucking gun with no real bullets in it, okay? He's not even supposed to be shooting it. He's just cocking it back, but even that is as dangerous as shooting it. Because if proper safety measures were being taken in this circumstance, then there would never be an instance where you're pointing a fucking gun directly at the head or vicinity of someone who you are not intending to shoot. That's safety 101. You point your gun downrange. You don't point it at anyone that you do not intend to shoot and kill, okay? Every gun lover that shoves a Glock in their fucking asshole to come knows this rule, okay? Every single gun pervert in the chat that's chiming understands that it is the #1 rule. So fundamentally, the moment that you're talking about a fucking lineup shot where you're supposed to be doing a close-up of the cocking of a gun, you've already violated the gun safety rules. In this world, there is no more close-up shots on guns, okay? That's what the DA wants, I guess. A world in which you can't have a close-up shot. Because that is insane. It happens in movies all the fucking time. And because there are close-up shots on guns and shit like that, okay, and plenty of other instances where guns are being used on set, there are safety rules specifically designed around this. And those safety rules dictate that the actor does not touch the fucking gun. The expectation that the actor should know what the fuck to do with a gun is insane. It's insane. It's an insane statement. That's crazy.
And kill someone. And this is really about justice for Helena Hutchins. We've talked to many actors, A-list and otherwise, that have said that they always check their guns, or they have someone check it in front of them. So it's not an actor.
That is what you... Oh my God, I'm spitting. That's what she got her entire case around. That's awesome. The open and shut case, man. Thank you, DA.
Doesn't get a free pass just because they're an actor. And that's what's so important, is that we're saying here in New Mexico, everyone's equal under the law. Everyone has to follow their duties and do what's right.
This is a Republican clout. I don't even know what her political background is, but it seems like a Republican clout shark. 100%. That's insane. That is insane, dude. Yeah, totally. Okay, good luck with this, guys. An individual cannot have the kind of duty they're operating under the assumption that bullets are fake and have been told by hired professionals whose job is to ensure that it's fake, especially when the other side of it is idiotic. Especially when, if the fucking guy who is handling, she's a Democrat, okay, doesn't matter, career move regardless. If the fucking guy, if the safety measures that the actor is supposed to take involve the actor touching the gun, you violated the actual safety measures. And I can give you examples of this. For example, let's not say it's a revolver. Let's say it's a regular fucking gun. Okay, let's say it's a Glock. Okay? Let's say it's a Glock. You unload the bullets yourself to check, to make sure. You open up the gun. You take the fucking, you take the magazine out. You look at it. And you look at the bullets individually. You inspect them. First of all, you have no idea if those are the dummies or whatnot. But let's say you do. Okay, this is a hypothetical, not an example. No, it is actually an example. I'm going to give you an example. Because what happened with Brandon Lee was a similar thing that would happen as an example from the hypothetical that I'm mentioning. Having a fucking dummy, or having a dummy lodged in front of having a dummy bullet lodged in front of a fucking blank would cause the dummy to be fired like a projectile, as if it is a real bullet. Bro, I don't know why you're hellbent on defending Hollywood and Alec Baldwin. You should make it so that anyone, even if an actor wields a firearm, they don't point it and aim it at someone. If you need to point at a cameraman, you tell the set and clear from behind the camera. Oh my God. I'm done. We can't do this.
And take that safety into account so that this doesn't ever happen again.
And is Baldwin being charged as an actor who was holding the gun, or as a producer on the set who was negligent about the safety standards? Can you help describe that?
He's being charged as both. He was the actor that pulled the trigger, so certainly he's charged as an actor.
No, that's bullshit. As a producer, fine. As an actor, bullshit.
But also as a producer, he also had a duty to make sure that the set was safe. And we know from our investigation that there had been accidental misfires prior to this, that there were people that were complaining about safety on set. And so he should have been aware that safety was an issue on set.
Yeah. All these gun safety freaks who love guns and hate Alec Baldwin because he's like a typical lib who fucking shits on guns a lot are horny as fuck. But what they fail to recognize, as you're correctly pointing out, Vine Maple, is that Alec Baldwin checking the gun himself would be a clear-cut violation of the set's safety rules, is Hollywood's safety rules. You would be violating it if you fucked around with the gun.
And then as an actor that day, he should have checked that gun, checked those projectiles.
Just a couple more questions.
But if he's being charged as a producer, why aren't other producers being charged? Why aren't other producers being charged? If he is charged as a producer in an creating an unsafe work environment, which I agree, I don't know the elements here. I don't know how involved he was in rushing the project or whatever the fuck. But why isn't the production company charged? Why isn't anyone else on the production company charged? Why aren't any of the executives that also add additional pressures charged? Let's be real, okay? Should they be? Yes. Yes. Anyone that created an unsafe environment in that regard should be charged. If Alec Baldwin is, as a producer, rushing the set, making sure that like cutting corners, cutting costs, and making sure that like they're on time and genuinely pushing them to do unsafe shit. Should he be charged? Absolutely. Alec Baldwin as an actor, insane fucking take, insane sentiment, insane take. Shut the fuck up. Seriously, you're out of your fucking mind. Okay, you're out of your fucking mind. This person is unbearable. They are absolutely doing this for clout. They are a clout-hungry DA. Many such cases of clout-hungry DAs exist. They're going after a high-profile target. It's evidence. It's evident by the fact that they gave the primary party, the AD, okay, the primary party who was the most responsible, a way out basically for cooperating with her. Try and set a case. I think Alec Baldwin has enough money and enough clout to fucking eat her ass alive. Okay? That's my take on it.
I know your time is short. Do you expect any type of plea agreement from Baldwin or Gutierrez-Reed? Have those discussions started?
That's not something I can comment at this time. It's unethical for a prosecutor to talk about plea negotiations or potential plea deals.
Were they given a heads up that this was coming?
Yes.
They were.
They were.
How did those discussions go?
We have been in, I would say, almost constant communication with the opposing parties' counsels for about the last 6 weeks. They didn't know exactly what was coming, but they were aware that we were contemplating charges, and they were aware of what the contemplated charges were. And
just two more questions. So what happens next? So once these charges are filed, which I assume is tomorrow, right? Is that the plan?
It'll be before the end of this month.
Before the end of this month. So then what happens? Are these defendants then required to come back to New Mexico, or will they be placed under arrest? How does that work?
No, we will not be asking for an arrest. In typical cases in this county, the way that we handle it is we'll send out what's called a summons. From that, the court will set what's called a first appearance, or it's basically an arraignment. And at that point, they will either have to come here or they might do a video arraignment. We have been doing those since COVID. And they will get their conditions of release and enter not guilty pleas.
And finally, last time you and I spoke, which was right after this tragic incident occurred.
Lawyer talks
prop
about
guns can be, how could this happen? Should Baldwin have checked the gun himself? Well, given how complicated it can be to film guns, it's not as simple as discharging live rounds. It's imperative that firearms experts check these weapons. It's also crucial for everyone on set to observe safety protocols. For example, in real life, you're never supposed to point a gun at a person. But typically on the set of a film, actors point the gun at the
Oh my God, maybe people will agree now that Legal Eagle is saying the exact same thing. Wow, amazing. Rule number 1 of gun safety violated for a movie shot. That's crazy. Oh, wow.
the camera all the time. But everyone in the line of fire would be wearing goggles and face masks. They'd also stand behind a Perspex screen. Hutchins and Souza were apparently checking camera angles by looking at the monitor when they were struck during the process. So this is a lot of background, but it's necessary to determine whether anyone faces criminal or civil liability as a result of what happened. So let's talk about the liability of the cast and crew. Let's start with actor Alec Baldwin. When the shooting made headlines, Baldwin's political opponents immediately shared their thoughts. And of course, it's natural to point the finger at Baldwin because he's the one that physically pulled the trigger of the gun in this case. But there's a difference between an accidental shooting on a movie set and an intentional killing. New Mexico criminal law defines murder as the killing of one human being by another without lawful justification or excuse. And we've talked about the mental states required for murder in the first degree, which usually requires malice aforethought, which means that the defendant planned to commit murder without cause or provocation. Manslaughter, on the other hand, is defined as the, quote, unlawful killing of a human being without malice. Because manslaughter does not involve the mental state of malice, it's considered less serious.
I'm glad Legal Eagle weighed in on this. It's just so funny because all the dumb, like, gun safety weirdos also absolutely fucking love John Wick. How the fuck do you think movies like John Wick get filmed, dog?
than murder. And malice aforethought is a criminal term of art that I'm not going to go into the nuances here, but it doesn't mean anger necessarily. I'm going to assume that Baldwin did not intend to hurt anyone here, so that means murder is off the table. Now, New Mexico manslaughter cases are classified as either involuntary or voluntary. Voluntary manslaughter involves a killing that occurs during a, quote, sudden quarrel or in the heat of passion. As far as we know, that doesn't apply to anyone on the Rust film set, including Baldwin. The crime of involuntary manslaughter involves a killing that occurs in the commission of some other unlawful act or a felony crime. Involuntary manslaughter also involves a killing that occurs while the defendant is engaging in a lawful but dangerous act without exercising due caution and circumspection. And an example of an involuntary manslaughter might be a fatal traffic accident caused by a driver who was texting while driving. And to prove involuntary manslaughter, prosecutors must show three things. First, that someone was killed as a result of an act of the defendant. Second, that the act was inherently dangerous or done recklessly. And third, that the defendant should have known the act threatened the lives of others. And prosecutors don't need to prove intent in New Mexico for involuntary manslaughter because it can be committed recklessly or through an inherently dangerous act. And the primary defense to involuntary manslaughter is that it was just an accident. A defendant can show that they didn't act irresponsibly or didn't know that their action could have resulted in another person's death. So the question is, did Baldwin act recklessly or commit an inherently dangerous act? Did he violate standard safety procedures by pointing the gun directly at people? Well, the early reports suggest that Baldwin didn't just pick up the gun and start pointing it at people. According to the crew members who spoke to the Los Angeles Times, quote, Baldwin removed the gun from its holster once without incident, but the second time he did so, ammunition flew towards the trio around the monitor. This suggests there was something wrong with the weapon, but shouldn't Baldwin have checked the gun himself? Wouldn't anyone handling a firearm check the gun themselves? Well, Mike Trisano, an armorer who worked with Alec Baldwin in the 1998 movie Thick as Thieves, said that, quote, he was great to work with and was very safe. I was surprised to hear it was him. He was always on the mark and very professional. He's not stupid. Industry insiders seem to indicate that it's totally normal for an actor to rely on the rest of the film crew to properly handle the weapons, especially when...
Damn, that's crazy. If only the fucking DA talked to some industry insiders that also gave her that pretty basic fuck... Like, no, fuck that. You can come to the conclusion by exercising 3.5 seconds of critical thinking. You don't even need to talk to industry insiders. You could literally come to that conclusion on your own by asking very simple questions. Can every random Tom, Dick, and Harry that's an actor that is handling a gun on set have the capability and demonstrate like proper safety protocols on their own, take matters into their hands? Okay, are they capable of doing that? Is that expectation reasonable? And then finally ask the secondary question, if they are, then why the fuck is there an armorer, a prop master, and a fucking assistant director there that's actually doing the real safety measures? That's it. That's all you needed to do was ask that fucking question. Like, well, I mean, there's clearly like a safety check here. There's a standard here. Did Alec Baldwin violate it? No. Actors are just actors. They act. They are not doing pyrotechnics. They are not handling the weapons. They're just holding it as an actor would hold it, as the character that they're behaving like would hold it on scene. That's it. Just like a Twitch streamer serves you the top of the hour ad break. That's what the Twitch streamer's job is. Serving you the top of the hour ad break and then telling you that you can avoid said ads by subscribing for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Or by telling you could avoid the ads by getting gifted a sub. Baby Matcha Latte, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Here's the
Some of the crew have
3-minute ad break now.
explicitly told the actor that the gun is safe to be used in the circumstances. And that probably makes sense to delegate this responsibility. Actors aren't necessarily going to know all the ins and outs of all the different firearms, especially when different kinds of ammunition are used in the same scene. And of course, if actors did have to recheck every firearm that they were given, that could create even more uncertainty and allow things to go wrong in different ways.
Yup. Thank you, Legal Eagle, for the brilliant analysis. Legal Eagle, if you guys had watched his fucking video instead of like every other one that you watch where you developed your fucking wrong opinions, you would already have come to this conclusion, and you could have repeated his good takes instead.
If they didn't reload the weapon.
Why didn't you think of this? These are, oh my God, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, shut the fuck up.
Correctly. So this sort of delegation, in my mind at least as an industry standard, seems like it makes sense. So under the scenario as we know it, for Baldwin to be charged, he'd probably have to know that there was a live round in the gun ahead of time. A weapons expert said once the weapon is loaded, it's impossible to tell what's inside. And Trisano said that it was not Baldwin's job to check the gun. Quote, someone professional on set should have been handling that gun. This makes no sense. So then the only question is whether Baldwin was negligent or reckless in handling the weapon. It doesn't seem that we have any facts to indicate that, for example, he was playing around with the gun or doing things that someone told him not to do, which is probably what would be necessary. So although Baldwin probably won't face any criminal charges, the likelihood that he is going to be sued as a producer of the movie is probably pretty high. But that doesn't mean that no one from the Rust film will face criminal liability. Is it possible that Baldwin or others could be charged with another crime like negligent use of a deadly weapon? Well, negligent use of a deadly weapon consists of 1, discharging the firearm into any building or vehicle or so as to knowingly endanger a person or his property. 2, carrying a firearm while under the influence of an intoxicant or narcotic. 3, endangering the safety of another by handling or using a firearm or other deadly weapon in a negligent manner. Or 4, discharging a firearm within 150 yards of a dwelling or building. Now, subsection 3 may be in play in this case. An early report said that the New Mexico police were trying to determine whether the gun would
This Mike Tristano guy doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about. Unless he says that Baldwin is guilty because he should have checked the gun himself. Yeah, I agree. Hey, this expert opinion that you got from an armorer who like worked with Alec Baldwin in prior years doesn't know what he's talking about because he doesn't agree with my made up. I know you're joking. I know you're joking. I know. That's why I'm reading it out loud and laughing about it instead of fucking screaming my face off. Unless it agrees with me, it disagrees with me, and therefore it's wrong. Anyway, it's weird that this is the biggest story right now. I mean, it's not that weird. I hope I was able to change some people's minds. Okay, I hope that I was able to, in this process, change some people's minds. Because this woman is out of her fucking mind, okay? Straight up. If she's charging Alec Baldwin as a producer, which doesn't seem like she's doing that, I think she's charging Alec Baldwin on the basis that he's Alec Baldwin. Okay? If she's charging him as a producer who created an unsafe work environment, that's fine. That's valid. But she's not charging anybody else. That also has that responsibility. Charging him as a actor that did something that he was not supposed to is insane. Okay? Absolutely fucking insane. I'm sorry. This is on the AD. This is on the not the armor, but the prop master, I guess. Like whoever touched that gun, who's supposed to touch that gun, did the wrong thing. Alec Baldwin, on the other hand, literally followed proper gun safety in the not regular, not the proper gun safety at a fucking range, but proper gun safety and handling regulations on set. Okay? The expectation that he was supposed to do something more would be in violation of the proper gun safety on set, like the rules on set. Also, having said that, Alec Baldwin going to jail would be pretty funny. I agree. It would be kind of funny. I understand the irony of the situation. He's like a big anti-gun guy. He's a huge liberal. Everybody hates him, yada, yada, yada. He's like kind of annoying. But ultimately, if you care about justice being served in this circumstance, you should probably try to get the responsible party, right? And the responsible party isn't going to be who you think is going to make the headlines. Feel me? As communist, pro-choice, mega-vaxxed, anti-gun patriot, how under a no-gun society which you wish to impose would such a shot be able to happen? Just curious. Wait, what? Dude, you fucking troll-faced me so hard. Yeah, you know me. I fucking hate guns. How does it feel to be owned? Fucking heckin' owned, dude. Heckin' Pupperino style ownage. You know? Epic ownage. Ownerino! Aiden is a feminist now.
Who could really motivate other females. And you know, females are so important to this world, chat.
It's starting to look good now that his hair is like coming back.
And anyone putting L's and you know, all this stupid shit in my chat, and it's just so dumb. I'm not going for that.
People are spamming L as he says females are more important.
If you don't fuck with that, then I genuinely hope one day you have a kid and she's a daughter, okay? Because you're gonna really understand the future that we're heading down is pure misogynistic, and we need to make sure, I need to make sure my daughters have a future.
The fuck's he saying? Wait, hold up now. What is going on? What the fuck? Hello?
You know what I'm saying? And we shouldn't be moving back in time, banning laws with men should not be able to ever ban certain laws with girls. And again, I want to help spread certain messages and motivation towards women because they need it. And you know,
he said these females are not motivated. We need to make sure that these females are motivated. What is going on right now? What the fuck?
And I know a lot of you guys in my chat are not gonna fuck with that. You don't gotta watch me. You really don't gotta watch me. You don't gotta support me. But I'm not going for any of that shit, bro. I'm not going for that. So, who could really?
How does this man also support Andrew Tate? I don't even know what's going on. I texted him. He did not reply to me. Okay. I texted him. I said his lawyer said you might not be able to visit. Did they break up? Like, what's going on?